Hello there. I hope everybody's having a good morning. I'm just doing this before going to work, and so I don't want to have any more mistakes with my recording because this is not the first time I've tried recording this. But anyways, I hope you enjoy. Hope you will enjoy this story. Um, this was a quick little story that I worked on with ChatGPT, and I think it turned out pretty nice. This is the tip of the spear.
The tip of the spear. The planet Calixus was a breathtaking expanse of vibrant forests, rolling mountains, and iridescent skies. But for the crew of the Dauntless Horizon, it was a brutal proving ground. Every attempt to establish a foothold ended in disaster. Towering predators with armor-like hides and razor-sharp tusks swept through their camps, destroying everything in their path. The settlers rebuilt, only to be driven back again and again. Through weeks of observation, the crew began to unravel the mysteries of the planet's dominant native species, the Mercon. These creatures were massive, muscular bipeds that roamed the land in disciplined V-shaped formations. At the head of every group stood a towering leader, often 12 feet tall, revered and feared as both protector and commander. The settlers discovered that leadership among the Mercon wasn't taken, it was earned. The leader bore the sacred responsibility of shielding the group from harm, leading hunts, and ensuring survival. This social structure was starkly effective, and it became clear why the Mercon thrived where the settlers failed. The humans' fragmented methods lacked the unity and strength embodied by the tip of the spear. Faced with no other choice, the settlers devised a desperate plan. They would submit to a Mercon leader, hoping to be accepted as part of their group. The selection. The crew studied the Mercan tirelessly, observing their rituals and customs. They identified a solitary Mercan, a smaller male, standing roughly 9 feet tall. Compared to the usual Mercan leaders, who reached towering heights of 12 feet or more, this creature was an outlier, possibly exiled or unworthy of joining other groups. This was their chance. A smaller, isolated Mercan might be more likely to accept them if approached properly. The settlers learned that submission involved a specific gesture, kneeling and placing the backs of their hands on their foreheads, fingers splayed like antlers. Additionally, a finely crafted spear had to be offered as a token of trust and allegiance. But the most critical component was acceptance. If the Mercan refused the spear, the settlers would face rejection, or death. With meticulous preparation, the settlers forged an advanced spear, blending human technology with the natural materials of Calixus. The weapon gleamed, its blade humming faintly with energy. First contact. The crew of 13 boarded their ship and descended into a dense valley where the solitary Mercon roamed. As they exited the ship, the creature spotted them and charged, a thunderous, earth-shaking assault. The settlers quickly knelt, forming a line, hands raised in the symbolic gesture of submission. The Mercon hesitated, snarling, its primal instincts battling with curiosity. The crew's leader, Captain Alaric Voss, stepped forward, spear in hand. He drove it into the ground before the creature, the blade shimmering in the dim light. The Mercon roared, slamming its massive fists into the earth. For a terrifying moment, the settlers believed their gamble had failed. Then the creature grasped the spear, lifting it high. Its piercing eyes scanned the kneeling humans. Finally, with a guttural cry, it slammed the butt of the spear into the ground, signaling its acceptance. The unified pack. From that moment, the settlers became part of the Mercon's group. They learned to move in the V-shaped formation, their new leader always at the forefront, spear in hand. The Mercon proved to be an invaluable ally. Under its protection, the settlers navigated the treacherous landscape, avoiding predators and finding safe areas to establish their settlements. Over time, they adapted to the Mercon's ways, learning to hunt, build, and defend themselves as part of the group, but they never forgot the power of the formation. The tip of the spear was not just a position, it was a sacred trust. To lead was to bear the weight of everyone's survival. Together, the settlers and the Mercon thrived, forging a bond of mutual respect and unity. And though they had come to Calixus as fragmented explorers, they now moved as one, strong, disciplined, and unstoppable. The settlers had learned the lesson of the spear. To survive, they had to submit to strength and embrace unity. For in the end, the might of the tip was the strength of the whole.
Alrighty. I thought that was a good little story. It's definitely very minimalist in characters. The only one who gets named is the captain who hands over the spear. Um, it was pretty much what I had outlined. I think the way I had worded it, I kind of wanted everybody to get attacked at first, but with the charge, that's pretty much what happened. But yeah, that's the tip of the spear, and I thought it was pretty good. Maybe would have liked a little bit more emphasis on the fact that they use their intelligence, and they still use their intelligence to communicate later on. It's not like intelligence was part of it, but I mean, they needed to rely a little bit more on brawn, and they didn't have that. Is kind of what's the point of it? Is that brains don't solve every problem in nature, and so it. But there was a part about submitting to strength, and so it does seem like there's the understanding of that. Yeah, I think it got across what I wanted to get across. It's kind of a little lighthearted story. Maybe would have added a scene of an actual hunt going down or something. But we can always have a sequel. I feel like this one needs a sequel because I kind of want to expand a little more on the the two groups interacting with each other. Maybe add a few more characters. But I like it the way it is too. It's simple and it's all about the tip of the spear. But they needed a good tip for their spear. Yeah, yeah. I like the idea of giving a. And the thing is, I didn't really go into how primitive or not the Mercan were, which in that name comes from ChatGPT. I didn't name them. Because the thing is, they might not be all that primitive. It just seems that way. But I would say from first glance, they seem like they're just roaming around in triangle shaped formations, being lords of the land kind of thing. I'm sure anybody can understand where you get the triangle shaped formations from looking at battle formations or hell even the way geese fly through the sky. It's a useful shape. Those triangles, they show up a lot in nature. But yeah, I really liked the way this turned out. I didn't want to tweak it anymore. I was thinking about asking for more and expanding upon it. But I like the first draft on this one, so I'm gonna just leave it the way it is, and I'm happy with it, and I hope you're happy with it too. And if not, let me know. Tell me what you thought it was missing. I think our main Murcon needs a name. That would have been something, but I think the lack of names isn't a bad thing either. You can still imagine a story, but it's a fair criticism if you think it was lacking because of that. So I hope you have an excellent day, and I love you, and thank you for listening.